But my adventure with the mountains started only about 11 years ago when I went to Peru and I did part of the Inca Trail. It was a 4-day trek across the beautiful Peruvian Andes, and we slept in the tents along the way. It was absolutely stunning, and that was my first experience with altitude. And it got me very curious what it's like to go higher. So I started thinking of Kilimanjaro, and after that trip, that became my goal. When I went for Kilimanjaro, I actually found it quite hard. The first few days it was all right, but the summit push was quite challenging. And I actually remember thinking that it's crazy that some people are going for Everest, and I was convinced at that time that I'm just not built for that. But at that time, I didn't realize that with the right preparation, anyone can become that person. Because I think we often look at very distant goals and we see them as very unattainable. And we forget that there's like thousands of small steps in between, and each step is very much achievable. And as long as you focus on one step at a time, you will eventually reach your goal that you previously thought was impossible. And so I very much did that. I started focusing on one mountain at a time. Each time it was a higher mountain, more challenging. And I never allowed myself to think of another mountain after that. I always wanted to fully focus on that one mountain. And eventually I climbed Everest and I completed all 7 summits. The most valuable lesson I've learned is that one of the biggest obstacles that we face when we're trying to achieve things is the fear of unknown. During my whole journey of climbing the 7 summits, I met a lot of people that they shared the same desire to do what I was already doing, and their fear held them back. And it was always puzzling to me. Why are they not chasing those dreams if they want it so much? Because I really felt like we are very much the same people. We are not exceptionally athletic. We are in a similar financial situation. We have similar job commitments. The only difference is that I'm not afraid to try. I just ask myself, what's the worst that can happen if I try? And what's the possibility of that? And as long as I'm happy to accept that risk, I'm okay to try. Whereas some people are afraid to do that. And I realized that not knowing the outcome and doubting whether you have what it takes to achieve your goal, it's really the reason why a lot of people stop pursuing their ambitions. And of course, I had my fears, I had my doubts, I questioned myself many times, but I was never afraid to take that first step. And this is why I accomplished what I did, while other people didn't. So I think it's important to accept that the fear is normal. It's not about being fearless. It's the willingness to try despite the fear. I also learned that failure is not the end of the journey. It's really just a lesson. And if you persevere, you can turn that failure into success. So I climbed Everest 2 times. On my first attempt, I didn't actually reach the summit because of the circumstances that were very much beyond our control. We had to abandon our summit bid. And at first I saw it as a failure. But when I returned to Everest second time, I realized that it was the biggest lesson that I could have had. Because the second time I was much stronger, I was way better prepared. I knew exactly what to expect. I knew the terrain, I knew all the challenges, everything. And that knowledge gave me such a massive advantage over other climbers. I also got a deep understanding of my physical limits. I now know how far I can push myself, and I know how my body will react to the most extreme conditions. I'm aware of the challenges I'm most likely to face, and I know what I'm good at, what I'm bad at. I've learned what to eat, when to eat, how to sleep, how to keep warm, how to train, and how to preserve my energy. But most importantly, I'm now very aware how capable I am. And every time I face a new challenge, it's no longer a matter of if I can do it, but when and how. The key to success is mental strength by a mile and resilience. But there are a few aspects that are less commonly spoken about. Teamwork is a huge part of success on the mountain. So when you think of Everest, you very often think of a solo achievement, but it's far from the truth. So during the summit push, you are paired with a Sherpa. Sherpa is a member of an ethnic group from Nepal and Tibet, and they've lived in mountain areas for generations. So they are genetically adopted to be very well suited on high altitude, which is why many of them become professional mountain climbers, and they help other climbers like myself to reach the summit. My Sherpa was Karma. He was incredible, very strong, very skilled. He was extremely helpful. Despite his genetic advantage, he's just a human. He will also feel the effect of the altitude. And so when we reached the summit, I was absolutely exhausted, but I also saw the fatigue on him as well. And that's when I realized that our descent is our shared responsibility. We are now a team, and our ultimate goal is to return safely. And since I was the weaker person in that unity that we had, I knew there was not much I could help him physically, but at least I could make his job as my guardian, I suppose. I could make it as easy for him as possible, so he could focus on his own struggles rather than worrying about me. So I followed every rule of safety meticulously. I didn't want him to worry about me. I wanted to earn his trust so that he wouldn't need to look back and check if I was okay. And after some time, I gained his trust, and he just let me be. And that's when we were the team, and we were moving towards our shared goal, which is coming down safely. And the same concept applies in everyday life. Even when you think about your personal goals, whether it's getting promoted or maybe working on some project, it's never a truly solo journey. You will always have people that you will rely on, and you will need a team far more than you think if you want to achieve your goal. Another crucial aspect on the mountain is communication. Of course, communication can save your life. If you have altitude sickness, you have to communicate it early so right action can be taken before it's too late. But also when it comes to reaching the summit of a mountain, communication is absolutely crucial. Because when you're on the mountain, you are exposed to the most uncomfortable environment. You are exhausted. Very often you have no appetite. You're not feeling well. You're not sleeping well, or you are sleeping in very uncomfortable conditions. And you are exposed to the most extreme conditions like cold, heat, different weather, winds, snow, rain, everything. And these factors will inevitably create some tension, especially if you have team members from different backgrounds. They have different personalities. They are triggered by different things. They have different level of patience. And so in such scenarios, good communication is absolutely crucial if you want to continue the journey without escalating the situation, and if you want to keep the team morale high. And the same thing applies in everyday life. Every time you are dealing with people who are motivated in a different way, they have a different way of thinking, it's very important to communicate effectively if you want to reach your goal. And lastly is leadership. This is something I didn't have to apply directly, but I was certainly very exposed to leadership. I was lucky enough to have extremely good leaders throughout my whole mountain climbing journey, especially on Everest. I had an amazing leader. It was incredible to watch how much strength he was able to get out of his team, whether it was saving other people's lives or persuading his clients to carry on despite not feeling 100%. And because of that, a lot of people have achieved things that seemed impossible. And I believe that without a good leadership, there's no chance I would have reached the summit. Because every decision that was made along the way, every precaution that was taken in order to avoid some disasters, every word was carefully chosen to motivate people. All of that meant great leadership, and because of that, the expeditions were successful. If I could offer one piece of advice to someone who's just starting the journey, I would say do your research, speak to those who are far more experienced, learn from them, and assess the risk. This is very important. And if you think that the risk is worth taking, then just go for it. And be mindful that you will always question yourself, you will have doubts, you will have concerns, you'll be scared. But that's part of the process. It's inevitable. You wouldn't be human if you didn't have these feelings every time you enter new territory. But as long as you persevere and you focus on one step at a time, you will eventually reach your goal.